So this is episode number 5 of my indoor herbal tea garden. And as you can see, all of my herbs are doing very well. They have all sprouted. They are all growing. Nothing has died so far, although we have had a few minor issues, one being overgrowth, which we will get into in a few minutes, and the other being fungus gnats. Now, I have applied neem oil, and it does seem to have reduced the numbers, so we will continue doing that, and hopefully it will not become a bigger issue in the future. This is my bergamot, and she is doing very well. I am slightly concerned about the yellowish tint to her leaves, so I am going to look up any amendments that I might be able to add to the soil to help that out, because I feel like she's been getting enough water, but we're definitely going to look into that. The other issue is she's being encroached upon by my borage, as you can see that giant leaf in the background. So we'll get to that in a minute and what we're going to do about that. And here's my echinacea. She is very tiny, but she was also one of my last to sprout. We haven't had any issues with her aside from a little bit of browning on one of her leaves. So we're going to keep an eye on that and make sure she gets extra water. As you can see here, she has not been watered yet today, but I will be doing that right now. And here is the source of all my troubles. This is my borage, and as you can see, she is an absolute beast of a plant. And like I've said before, I've never grown any of these herbs before, but I definitely should have known, because the guidance on the seed packet was to plant them 24 inches apart. So I probably should have guessed that it would spread. What we're going to do about this, I am not 100% sure yet. She will be getting replanted somewhere else, and I'm just going to have to figure that out, because she definitely can't stay here. She is invading the space of all the plants around her, and it's definitely going to create issues in the future, so I want to get that taken care of as soon as possible. This is my hibiscus, and as you can see, she is the tallest herb I'm growing right now. In the beginning, her lights were too far away and she stretched just a little bit too much, and I was worried that she was going to flop over. And so what I did was I went ahead and I dug her up and I set her down further in the soil to kind of give her a little bit more support. And that seems to have worked. The only problem is she is very tall, and now, because the other plants are shorter, she is closer to the lights, and it's becoming harder to regulate her light intake. So what I've done was I actually moved her into the middle of the enclosure that she is in, so that she will get less light, because the lights are separated on the sides. And this is my chamomile. So far, she's grown very well. However, I am slightly worried that she may have been getting too much water, because she was very straight one day, and then the next day she was very floppy. So I'm going to actually reduce the water intake on this plant. And this is my calendula. She is doing amazingly well, especially considering she was one of the plants that I had dug up and reset further down in the soil, because she had grown a little too spindly due to light placement. But since that time, she has recovered and is just doing beautifully. I am slightly worried about space, because it seems like she's kind of hit the wall on the sides there. But yeah, we're going to keep an eye on her. And if we need to replant her in the future in a bigger container, then we will do that. And here is my lemon balm. She is beautiful. She's perfect. I have absolutely no complaints and no problems so far, knock on wood. And this is my cinnamon basil, who is also doing amazingly well. We've had no problems with her. She is growing beautifully. Leaves are beautiful. I think she's really my prettiest plant, with the calendula coming in second. And this is my lemon mint, which, as you can see, unlike all of the other herbs I planted, where I only planted one, this one I actually have four because it was recommended that you can plant them much closer together than the other ones. Although it seems like one of my plants is a Siamese twin, so I actually couldn't just thin it without killing it. So we're gonna see where that one goes. It's actually the tiniest one there over on the right. It's a double plant. We have two plants growing out of one stem. So I may need to just completely thin that out at a later point. But right now, everything is going pretty good. And here's my lemongrass. She has grown beautifully, aside from the fact that I believe she has not been getting enough water because a couple of her leaves have turned a crispy brown on the ends. And so I have started compensating and giving her a little bit more water than she had been getting. And here we come to the end. This is my lavender. She is by far my tiniest seedling, but she is growing very well. I have not noticed any problems so far, and we will just continue to watch her grow. So, as you can see, while we do have a few issues to work out and deal with, overall, everything is going amazingly well, and I honestly just couldn't be happier and more surprised at myself because I've never grown any of these things, and I notoriously have non-green thumb. Unless it comes to the other herb that I grow, which you can catch the episodes to that one under my Vivisun Grow playlist. All right, guys, I'll see you next week.